Okay, so if you're somewhat active in the Linux space and you're not that active that you keep your desktop on a TTY or something like that, you have probably heard of Wayland. And you might have also heard that there are things called Wayland Compositors, which sounds pretty epic and kind of mystical to me. So, like, what do they actually do? In order to investigate that question, I just downloaded DWL, which is supposed to be a replica of DWM, which is a X11 window manager, but for Wayland. Okay, so scrolling through the code here, you can see an insane amount of comments actually, which is pretty unexpected to me because DWM is actually notorious for being pretty unreadable. Okay, so update mons, called whenever the output layout changes, adding or removing a monitor, changing an output's mode or position. This is where the change officially happens and we update geometry, window position, focus, and stored configuration in wlroots, output manager implementation. All of this sounds pretty high level, right? So you can have a function that simply changes the layout of your monitor setup. And we can basically remove monitors from the layout. We can set the position and size of the background of the monitor. And it sounds pretty understandable and easy. And just comparing the code size of both implementations, X11 and Wayland, it seems like Wayland isn't too complicated. I mean, 1000 extra lines is not that much. But if you read through the source code a bit more, you will probably notice one thing. Many functions are prefixed with a WL, and many functions are prefixed with a WLR. And at the top, we obviously see that there are like insane amounts of includes from WLR. And in general, WLR seems to have functions that sound way more high level than the functions of WL. And when searching for WL, we can see it's mostly listeners, lists, and stuff like that. Okay, so checking the definition of those interfaces prefixed with WL, we will be brought to Wayland server core.h. And here is where a central difference between X11 and Wayland really becomes clear, because apparently there are different libraries for functionality in Wayland that is related to like compositing, window management, rendering, and so on, and the low-level like Wayland protocol. If we search for the word protocol in Wayland server, we can see that those functions are definitely related to the protocol, right? So searching for the word compositor here just gives me one single result. And I think from that we can conclude that the core Wayland file and library for implementing a compositor that serves the Wayland protocol is not really about compositing at all. By the way, searching for rendering or drawing yields literally no result. So concluding from that, Wayland kind of expects you to implement their protocol in however way you want. Like for example, when you receive a event that a client wants to connect, you could theoretically open some kind of TUI session and then write bytes that the client sends you as their like pixels to that, if you have some implementation that effectively can do that. Or you could try and, like, I don't know, have a rendering API that draws a rectangle that is like textured, somehow allocates GPU resources to get the pixels that the client has sent into the texture and basically draw it on your GPU, which is what like modern real compositors would do. Okay, but this sounds like a lot of work, right? So you would have to somehow manage your graphic context. You would have to somehow blit those pixels to the screen, like to the actual monitor. How would you do that? You would need to handle scaling, frame pacing, VSync, all of that. So all of those things would be the main part of your code base when writing a compositor, it seems like. And this is fundamentally different from writing an X11 window manager. Because X11 provides you simple functions like mapping a window, which simply renders the window and you can move on with your life. You don't have to worry about direct memory access to the GPU or like using Vulkan or OpenGL to render and batch maybe those textures. Then like updating partial section of the windows, because yes, most of the time when a window updates and sends new pixels, only a specific part of the window has actually changed. All this is implemented inside of the X library. So writing a Wayland compositor is kind of like writing your own X server, only that it serves the Wayland protocol and probably does so in a more modern way, given that you implement all of the modern features like direct memory access, GPU, Vulkan, OpenGL, and more. Okay, so it has become pretty obvious that this WLR library probably handles what we are talking about. I mean, just the fact that there exists a file WLR renderer is pretty good proof. Okay, before I want to kind of dive into what wlroots is actually implementing, I want to show you something to really prove my point of Wayland like just being a thing protocol. For that, let's expect user share wayland slash wayland.xml. As you can see, what this describes is the Wayland protocol, the core functionality of the protocol. So, for example, a WL display is the core display object. This is a special singleton object. It is used for internal Wayland protocol features. Then, like the basic objects of Wayland, a WL surface. A surface is a rectangular area that may be displayed on 0 or more outputs and shown any number of times at the compositor's discretion. They can present WL buffers, receive user input, and define a local coordinate system. So this file specifies the core communication protocol, but the implementation of that protocol is fully left to the compositor. So you can literally do anything with that as long as you actually handle it correctly and the client actually sends correct protocol data. And this protocol data is literally sent over a socket, like a Unix socket, and you could do it yourself. You could construct all of those events and like messages from client to server and so on yourself, send them over the socket, and it would work. However, it's a little bit unnecessary because Wayland server and Wayland client, which is just the same library but for clients sending to the server, implement the IO and the socket over which to communicate the actual protocol. Right, so now we know, okay, Wayland is just a protocol specification and some convenience libraries like Wayland server and Wayland client that make it more convenient to communicate that protocol. And as we have established, one implementation of that protocol is wlroots. So after cloning the project, I can already see there are like main folders like Backend and also render. And in here we can see that they specify things like actual Vulkan. If we look at that file, we can literally see Vulkan calls. So they are effectively implementing a Vulkan renderer like you would do if you like do your like graphics engines or like game engines. So, and in the Vulkan folder, there's also a file called like texture, and it literally implements a function Vulkan texture update from buffers. So essentially exactly what I was talking about. When you receive a buffer from Wayland, you want to update it and somehow pull it onto your GPU to be displayed. And I will not go into the implementation because it's literally just Vulkan implementations. Okay, apparently they write the pixels of the received data, which is a WLR buffer, but the WLR buffer is just a Wayland roots abstraction over a WL buffer. So, and they also implement a Pixman backend and a GLES2 backend. So they are actually pretty mature, it looks like, because implementing Vulkan is kind of like, you know, so clocking render Vulkan yields like 5,400 lines. Yeah. Right, so those are like the main functions to actually draw things on the screen in a GPU accelerated way. Okay, so we can close that. I think I understand. Now, what they also do is specify their own protocol files, their own extensions to the Wayland protocol. This is a thing that's basically unavoidable in Wayland because the core protocol is way too thin to handle most modern needs for desktops and like modern like computing essentially. And as you can see, for things like power management and gamma control and stuff like that, they provide separate protocol files which extend the protocol of the server serving the Wayland protocol. which is essentially them, or more clearly, the compositor that uses wlroots to write like their compositor. Okay, but another very interesting folder is Backend. And Backend in Wayland compositor lands usually means the platform on which to actually display the rendered state. So, for example, they have an X11 backend, which literally creates an X11 window on another window manager that is running in X11 to display the state of the compositor to. Okay, so to quickly demo that, Western is another independent Wayland compositor that is not related to wlroots, and they also implement an X11 backend. So starting that, we can see that the desktop session is running on my own X11 window manager. And we could theoretically use real Wayland compositor, which is Western, in X11 just because it's rendering into an X11 backend window. This is effectively the same thing that they are implementing here, which is an abstraction over an output that is fully independent of platform. So theoretically, if there weren't like other constraints that make this a little bit hard, they could also have a Win32 backend, and you could display the state of your Wayland compositor on Windows. The biggest part of backend seems to be DRM. So I don't want to get too much into that, but DRM is essentially a subsystem of the Linux kernel responsible for interfacing with GPUs of modern video cards. That's kind of stupid. Like, what DRM basically allows you is to write to the actual screen's buffer in a like modern GPU way. So because I implemented a custom independent Wayland compositor once, I also have a DRM backend, and I kind of write better code than them, so at least for me. So like, and you can actually just find a function handle frame, and handle frame DRM essentially handles a frame for a device, okay? Okay, and then what we kind of do is lock the front buffer. If we could not get the front buffer, we'll try again next frame. Fail to get, okay, and then we return true and basically try again next frame. I see. If we could not create a DRM frame buffer, try again next frame. But eventually we call the main function DRM mode page flip. And this basically flips the GPU rendered frame, which was rendered by the graphics backend like OpenGL or Vulkan, by using the interface for DRM for the libraries. Like, for example, EGL provides an interface to render to DRM, and DRM mode page flip commits that and actually puts the rendered scene onto the display. So DRM is basically the native way of rendering your desktop on Linux. And one side note, because the Wayland compositor actually handles all of that, like setting up DRM, writing the rendered scene to the monitors you have connected, and so on, you can just, from a TTY, start any Wayland compositor, like, I don't know, DWL, enter, and it will start, and it will literally just have your desktop session there. With a X11 window manager, you cannot do that. You cannot just start DWM from your TTY, because it is not responsible for actually setting up your monitor and your kernel for going out of the TTY and actually starting the graphical user interface session. So with all of those implementations and like EGL setup to render frames and stuff like that, eventually you can piece together a compositor that actually renders stuff. But yeah, that's effectively how Wayland works. It's a protocol that you can serve, do anything you want with it, but if you want a desktop, probably take in buffers, render them with GPU textures, have some kind of renderer that lets you position those textures. Then you just need a way to display it onto your screen, like implement a DRM backend. And that's essentially it. Then you have to handle input, which is yet another thing, but it's not that hard. And it's mostly based around lib input, which handles most of the heavy lifting for you. But yeah, then on the other hand, if you want compatibility with most of the established Wayland stack on Linux, you could also just use wlroots. which is probably a simpler and more feasible experience. Okay, so this is me running Weston, a Wayland compositor, inside of my own X11 window manager. And this is me running my Wayland compositor inside of a Wayland compositor inside of my X11 window manager. And this is me running a Wayland compositor inside of my Wayland compositor, running inside of a Wayland compositor, running inside of an X11 window manager. Now this is me.
My entire life has been a humiliation ritual orchestrated by none other than the Rothschild family. Now, I have no distinct evidence of this, however, I believe that with an absolute certainty.